Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's episode, I have gone and done a gardening chore that was not in my garden. So let me take you on a trip, and I do have on different clothes because it's a different day. But let me take you on a trip and show you what kind of gardening I've done. Let's go. I made it over to my sister's little in-ground garden, and I helped her plant many things, but today I brought over that flat of greens that I had in my greenhouse, and I've already planted them. I didn't show you guys me planting them, but I did put them in. I planted blue potatoes. I showed my sister how to do that. I put in her raised bed, I hope you guys can see, I just put the whole bunch of collard greens over here, 2 different varieties. I planted all the onions that you see. She planted the sunflowers, but all the onions are planted. You guys can see, but I don't want to take the cover off because there's lots of flying insects around. But I planted the longevity spinach over here, and all of these little plants that you see, those are all different types of kale, and the one big one in the front is eggplant. This little bunch here is celery. So I just put everything in bunches, and once they get a little bit bigger in her garden, she can decide to separate if she likes, or she can just leave it as is and just let it do what it do. So this is what I did in my sister's little raised bed garden, and I hope it grows well. I even gave her some of the aloe vera. There's a couple of them over on this side, like that last one isn't looking so strong. I think it's getting too much sun. She said she's going to try to create a little greenhouse for them, but she also has 4 aloe vera from my garden. I got her moringa. This is moringa. It's being eaten by something. There were 3 of them in there. That one has no more leaves. That one's putting leaves back on, and this one's holding on. But I did also bring her moringa. Looks like she's put some herbs on the table, some sage, some rosemary, and I'm not sure, lavender. I can't read the others, but she's got her a little herb garden started. So exciting. So I just finished planting up my sister's garden, her raised bed garden. Then I am headed to the house. I look a mess. It is just one of those days. I stopped up to the store to pick up a couple things. As you saw in my last video, I have an invader in the garden, and I'm going to show you what I found today when I went in there to get my sister's things, her plants. I'll show you what I found. I'm sure you can guess what I found. But I went to Tractor Supply, and they had a bucket of bait. Of course, more than what it costs at Walmart, but you get more in the bucket, so that's to be expected. It's an all-weather, and it takes care of several different type of rodent species. So I'm hoping that this will be the last garden visitation that I see. I kind of feel like it won't be, because I live in a rural-ish area. We have several farms that are around where I live. The land that I live on, that subdivision was bought from one of the farmers that lives near where I live. Excuse me. So I think the rodent problem is a problem because of the fact that it was farmland. I don't know how many rodents are out here, but I do know that they are visiting my garden, and I've had enough of it already. If it's not one thing, it's another. Another reason why I want to get rid of the rodents is because poisonous snakes are in this city. And I have a family member and their neighbor. Matter of fact, 2 of my family members' neighbors have killed coral snakes. And so on my last property, there was a baby rattler snake. And rodents are food for snakes. That's one of the reasons why when I was talking to you guys in the last clip, when I mentioned about being safe. You want to clear your area of items where they can find and make homes. You need to clear your area of possible food and water sources. You do not want to have things stacked up, piled up here, there, and everywhere, because as I learned in my greenhouse in North Texas, I had a pot just sitting up, but I had nothing in it. And it was in my greenhouse on the bottom, just weighing it down. I was using it as a weight. Well, a snake found a home there. It was warm in the greenhouse. The pot was a place for it to rest. If y'all have not seen that video, I will attach that video so that you can see the length of this snake, the girth of this snake. This was not a poisonous snake. However, there are poisonous snakes around. And I'm going to get off my rant, but we just have to be very mindful. And I don't want rodents in my yard because I want to do my best to prevent snakes from wanting to come. If they know this is a place to feed, they'll keep coming. If they're just passing through and you don't see them, or you see them coming and going, that's great. But you do not want to have, and I'm going to get off of this, you do not want to have a place where they can come and feed. That is just so dangerous. And I'm always tipping around the garden because I'm very mindful of where I put my feet. I'm always mindful of where I put my hands. And I cannot say this enough, y'all. We have got to be very careful in our gardening environments because we are not the only things out there. We're just not. So I'll show you what I got at the store when I get to the house. I'll see you in a bit. All right, everybody, I made it to the house, and this is one of the things that I picked up today in my travels. One of my family members knows that I love to acquire these white buckets, and that I'd gone by my favorite barbecue place, and they didn't have any the last 3 visits I went. So they were over there, they saw they had a whole slew of buckets, and they picked them all for me. So these buckets can be used for food storage, as well as for planting up and for collecting rainwater. And I will be doing probably all 3 of those things. So that's why I needed just a few more buckets. Now they also come with these lids. These lids are very secure. Once you put them on, they are on, y'all. So I have some buckets. That was something free that I got today. That time of the year where we need to be thinking about mosquitoes. I have rain water in many different places in my garden, to include my bird bath, the saucers for my pots, my open trash can that I use as a rain barrel, the tops of my rain barrels, you name it. I've got liquid fertilizer containers that don't have tops to them, and they attract insects, mosquitoes, as well as flies. So I keep on hand mosquito bits. You can also get mosquito dunks. I just so happen to get the bits because that's what I just so happen to get. I normally pick this up at Amazon, but since I was at Tractor Supply, I picked up some mosquito bits. Make sure that I'm keeping on top of putting these in the water so that I am not creating a mosquito magnet and mess all over the garden for me and for my neighbors. So think about it. If you all have water, stagnant water in your area, think about some mosquito bits. You can also put this in your pots. It controls, what does it say? Fungus gnat larvae. I've tried it. I believe it works, but I don't keep plants in the house anymore. So try it for yourself and see what results. The last thing I picked up at Tractor Supply is this right here. It's Farm and Home Tomcat bait chunks, all weather. It takes care of rats, mice, and metal voles. Now, this is the last time I'm going to talk to you guys about this. This is very important to me. I know this sounds like a rant, but a really good friend of mine who was dating one of my good girlfriends, he was walking in the fields, taking his dogs out walking, and contracted, and I hope I'm saying this right, the hantavirus. He almost died, and that is due to the feces and urine of mice and rats. I believe that's right. I'll put some information in the description box below. So I do not want rodents near where I am, near my food. Don't want urine, don't want feces, don't want them. So I'm hoping that this will take care of it. If you all are having issues such as this, and I hate to have to do it, but I know the importance of it. They have this at Tractor Supply. It's roughly $34 and some change. This is what I'm going to be keeping on hand all the time, because I used, and I showed you all the bag that I had in a previous video. It might have even been in this video. I showed you the bag. Yeah, I showed you the bag a couple of clips ago. That was 16 little chunks of bait. Got that from Walmart. This is a 4-pound pail. I don't know how many are in here with that 4 pounds, but I believe this is something I'm going to have to keep in my house, because I'm surrounded by 3 different farms. They've got cows and whatever else over there, as well as they're clearing land to build apartments and houses, and they're trying to even put some type of trucking business, because we just received a notification saying, hey, sign this petition, we don't want them here, kind of deal. And I believe because it's such open fields, this is going to be a situation that I'm going to have regularly. So with all that being said, if you guys are having issues as well, they have this at Tractor Supply, and it takes care of all the rodents. Last but certainly not least, I stopped off to Ollie's. I was in Ollie's some time ago with a family member. I didn't really have time to do any shopping. It was mad chaos. And so I said to myself, go back to Ollie's the next time you have time and you're not rushing. Thank goodness I did, because they did not have very many of these left. But if you have an Ollie's in your area, don't sleep on Ollie's. Ollie's had mason jars. Now, I only saw the 16-ounce mason jars, which is what I needed. And look at the price, y'all. $8.99. These are, I want to say, between $11 and $13, depending on where you live. I want to say they had these also at Walmart, but don't hold me to that. I know I saw these in HEB, and they were a whole lot more than $8.99. Now, I could have got more, but I didn't want to be greedy. I'm trying to keep tabs on my budget, because I've had some big major things happening around the house. But I needed some more pint-sized mason jars, because I've been canning and I need to continue to can. So probably in another 2 weeks, I'll go back and scoop up a few more of these pint-sized mason jars, because they've been $8.99 for several months now. So if you have an Ollie's, check your Ollie's. If you are a canner, a gardener, they have all kinds of stuff. Do not sleep on Ollie's. Visit Ollie's if you have one. So that's it for me, everybody. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed everything I've brought to you today. I know it's been a little bit here, there, and everywhere, a little bit chaotic. I gave you a public service announcement. Lots going on. But again, thank you very much for watching my video. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I hope to see you either in my kitchen or my food forest real soon. Bye for now, because I got some canning to do. And I picked up some jars today from some family members that I gave them some stuff. I had to get my jars back, y'all. I got things to can. Bye for now.